we're out here in Brookshire, Texas today. We have bees going in right there. So to give you the full view of what's going on, these are in the peak of our house right there. And whenever we put a thermal camera, we can see it lit up. A job like that where the bees are behind the wall, you know, it's really a lifesaver. This is the FLIR E6. And so this is what I used for all my inspections to kind of see where the bees are in the wall. It has a very good reading on the temperature differences of the wall. So that way you can really see where the bees are. We were able to see that they're not only behind that, whatever that material is, it looks like it could be stucco, but they're also behind the brick. Come up with a game plan to kind of see how will we tackle this, how will we extract the bees out and get all of the comb out. You know, it helps us better prepare, have success for the job. I have Mr. Carlos Hernandez, who is a renowned, I would say he's a renowned bee remover. He gave us a colony of bees the other day. You know, what I'm learning is that these bee removers have a lot of innovative products that they use to capture bees. So Mr. Carlos has a vacuum system that I have never seen before. So he gave me the colony of bees in his vacuum systems. See if he can give us any tidbits on the job that we just secured.
Vertical siding tends to have a gap behind it, and they can get in behind that gap. It's most likely where they're going to be there, because if the attic floor isn't finished out, there's nowhere for the bees to build. They're not going to be in that wall, because the wall's going to have insulation in it. There's no room in there for them to build in that insulation. If you see this right here, you got horizontal siding. In an older home like this, there's not going to be any insulation, so they can build in it. But let's say this is a newer home, there's going to be insulation there, no room for them.
She said the house was 50 years old.
There may be a chance that there's no insulation in that wall, but most likely there is. 99% of the time, when you got a brick home, they're near enough to where they'll have insulation in it. So they've got brick, they're most likely going to have insulation behind that. Other than that, when they build that home, vertical insulation, these panels, there will be a gap 4 inches, 6 inches sometimes.
And so basically, like for my observations today, what I seen on the other side, directly on the other side of that same section, she had another cutout performed. And then last year, I had caught a swarm as they were moving in, and I was able to catch the queen. Something's telling me that queen is going to be right here with this big, massive hole of bees. It was somebody before me that did the first one. So this is the third one I'm on.
Have you been in the attic?
Or from basically the thermal camera, it looked like I could see the studs spacing, and then it looked like they were going in between the stud and behind the wall.
Yeah, up, not down. Not behind the brick, right?
On the brick, it was, you know, they're laid sideways, and then it's that one vertical section at the top where the brick meets the hardy plank or the stucco. They're in between that first layer, the bricks, and then
there's a gap there. If you go up into that attic and you look at that wall, you're going to see one of two things. Either you're going to see sheathing, or you'll see the studs, and then you're going to see the black tar paper. And then behind that black tar paper, you'll have sheathing, and there will be a gap. I can explain it to you right here. So you're going to have the studs. You're going to have it look like this, either like this, and you're going to see either drywall or something like this when you go in the attic, or you're going to see this. And behind that, you'll see the black tar paper. Okay, and behind that black tar paper is going to be connected to the studs here like sheathing. That's the plywood or something to keep this from doing that kind of thing. And then behind that, there's going to be a gap. And then behind that gap, it's going to be the siding. You see this right here? Imagine this is the siding coming down.
On the outside.
Yeah, and you got that gap, and that's where they're going to be.
So how would you recommend doing a cutout from the outside or going?
You can do it both ways. You can do it from inside. You put some plywood down so that you don't bust through the attic. or you can do it from the outside. But the problem with doing it from the outside, and usually when I do a removal from behind vertical siding, I like to do it from inside. Because when you go to put the vertical siding back together, you can see that something's been done. If I cut into this wall right here and you diagonal cut, I mean, you can't tell anything happened, because horizontal siding like this has vertical cuts in it. You're going to have vertical cuts in it, and it's normal. Any home that's going to have horizontal siding, you got vertical cuts.
Right.
So it goes together right. Vertical siding does not have horizontal cuts.
Okay.
So when you go to cut that siding, you're going to have to make a horizontal cut. And when you put that back, you're going to see that there was a cut there.
Right, because the first cutout, you can definitely see exactly where that cut at.
I prefer to do it from inside if possible. This way,
So you will go through the bedroom or the attic?
to the attic. You're not going to get them from the bedroom unless they're in the wall of the bedroom.
Yeah, they're above. They're above.
They're going to be between the studs, like I was explaining to you, behind the sheathing. So when you go up there, you're not going to see the bees. You're going to see the black tar paper, or you're going to see the sheathing, and then they'll be behind that. You'll just have to cut that out. But I mean, you can do it from the outside if they don't mind. It's easier from the outside. You know, when I leave, I like it to look like I've never been there before. So I'll do a little extra work if I have to, you know, on the inside, so that the house looks nice. Put it back together so that when I'm gone, you don't even know I was there. And that's a problem with vertical siding. I mean, you can take the entire panel off. Well, if you're going to do the entire panel, then you got to get all the way up to the top, and you're going to have to take the fascia board down first, because the panel is going to go up, you know, goes up at an angle. The house panel is going to go up behind that fascia board. So you got to take that fascia board out to get the panel off. You can, if you've got a thin enough saw blade, you can cut a horizontal cut, and sometimes be able to put that back up in there to where it's not as noticeable. You're going to be able to tell.
This one, they already moved in for 3 weeks, and I can see from the thermal imaging that they're starting to build up already.
Yeah, you're not going to get them out unless you open it up. I mean, you can sometimes, if they've just moved in for a couple of days, under a week, maybe a week at the most, depending on the size of the colony, you can get in there and run some smoke. A honeybee gone, bee quick, whatever you use, abscond them out, which this is the only time I would tell anybody to potentially be able to abscond a colony out of the structure of a home, because that's irresponsible if you do that and you don't and you don't get the honeycomb out. Because now you're just opening up a can of worms for them to have to deal with later.
I know that you're one of the top people in Houston for this type of job. I say that every time I come over here. Hey, if you came up with a game plan like that, I'm gonna follow it to the T. And then she doesn't mind me going from the outside, but I wanted to get your expert opinion whether the inside, because she really doesn't care if I go inside or outside. I just want to know your expert opinion.
I mean, I would, if she's okay with the outside and they've already done it like that, and like you said, it can look kind of symmetrical, then, you know, go for it. It's going to have to be replaced anyway, but otherwise, you know, going from the attic is the way to go. You just got to put yourself a floor down so you don't fall through it, and get you some light in there. I know I've got pictures of jobs exactly like that. I'll fish some out and I'll send them to you and show you, so you can get a visual, understand a little more about what you're up against there.
Yes, sir. The tool that I'm using, what I was actually, you know, from the first time that I met you and you were telling me how quick that you work, well, since I've been doing the removals in the last 2 weeks, I kind of been figuring out why it takes me so long. And I think is that I use a buzz saw to cut.
I do too.
That's what you use to cut?
There's three saws that I use. I have the oscillating saw, right? A 3.5-inch cutoff. The wheel's about this big, small, handheld. And then I have, you know, a skill saw. Depending on what I'm cutting, I'd use the cutoff, depending on the siding. A hardy plank, if it's hardy plank.
It's stucco.
That upper siding is stucco. Then in that situation, I'm going to use the skill saw to make the cut, to get through the stucco quicker, because the stucco is usually going to be 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick, and then behind the stucco, there's going to be plywood mesh. So you got to get through the stucco to pull that piece off, and then you got to cut the plywood to get that out of there.
Right.
So I use a skill saw in that situation to get through it quicker. Otherwise, you're going to be, you know, moving real slow with that. Done, it's going to take you forever. Just line out your lines, you know, I always have a level. In a situation like that, I'm going to do my horizontal cut first, which usually I do with any of them. So I'll do the horizontal cut first all the way through. And the reason for that is because when I do the horizontal cut, I'll show you here again. If I'm doing a horizontal cut, once I've gotten to the stud on both sides, and then once I know where that stud is, then I can get my speed square from the outside and then mark the horizontal marks where the studs are, and then cut that. That way when I pull this piece off, I'm dead center on both studs.
That makes sense. I mean, that totally makes sense. And I think I am going to try using a skill saw versus, cause I've never actually done a cutout with a skill saw or even the hand skill saw, basically with the smaller wheel. And I'm going to give it a try and hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard. With the stucco right there, you're gonna have to be a little bit more cautious because you're on that ladder, and if you're not steady with the saw, it can kick back at you. You're gonna wind up off of the ladder on the ground. So see, they're gonna be right there. See how they're like that? The fascia board right there. There you can kind of see the gap.
Okay, so you removed.
See the gap they were in? Yeah, I removed it. In this situation, I didn't have to cut through the top stucco, just the bottom. But that gap extends up.
Right. So in that case, all you removed was the fascia board, the insulation.
Yeah, and the insulation, and then put everything back together. But it's going to be same thing. It's horizontal. It's not stucco. It's going to be wood. See, you had to make that horizontal cut. See, there's no horizontal cuts on these. They're all vertical. Horizontal cut, and then you got the gap. See, between them, there's a gap there. And then everything put back together. Now see how you can see the horizontal cut when you put it back. That's the stuff that I don't like.
And so whenever you seal it up, do you put insulation behind there and then just caulk up the seams?
Sometimes I caulk it. Depends on what they have access to. The big thing is eliminating the void. As long as you've got that void packed full of insulation and there's nowhere for them to build again, they won't ever build again. That doesn't mean they can't build over there or over there somewhere. But, that's not on you.
So we just got back from Mr. Carlos Hernandez. He gave us the tidbits of how to perform this upcoming job that we have. I'm excited to show y'all how I would do all of that type of stuff. And so for this next person that you're going to meet, this is going to be somebody that I did a one-on-one class with. And I have a very special gift that I am so excited to give them. During their one-on-one class, they inherited long langs. Long langs are different from a top bar hive because they actually use the Langstroth frames instead of a top bar, but it's basically in the same configuration. Oh, my cows have got in. But basically, they have the whole 9. They inherited like a whole setup. They got swarm traps. They got the long lang boxes. They have 2 hives with bees in them. But one thing they did not have was an extractor. So I am very excited today to be able to bless them, or they called me back out there because in one of their long langs, they're having an ant problem where the ants will not get in or get out of their hives. They're having a lot of worries about that. But the real reason of why I'm wanting to go back over there is to actually bless them with an extractor. I'm actually deciding which extractor I want to bless them with. I have an automatic one and 2 manual ones. Let's walk into the honey house and see what we got and what we can spare to bless them with a full setup to extract their honey whenever it's that season. Let's go into this honey house and see which extractor would be the best. I think I'm gonna keep these 2 and then give them this one right here. And then this is looks to be like a 2-frame extractor. I was actually given this, but I already have 2 extractors, so I want to make sure I can, bless somebody else. Let's see. Yeah, this is a 2-frame extractor. That's good to start off with. I think they're gonna enjoy this. I'm very excited to give this to them because I know this is the missing link to their apiary. Okay, we're gonna see how this goes later on today. Okay, let's get this loaded up and get on the road.
You got the hive tool?
I like y'all's new hive tool. I noticed it on back of the buggy.
Oh, yeah. We got the fancy one like you have.
Wow, he's right.
No ants?
No.
Yeah. Last time it was like covered.
Imagine, that's just the magic of a little cinnamon.
Yeah, and it's okay if it falls into the hive.
Yeah, there are bees more times than not. Like it's just probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
But
these are the dead ants. We smushed some of them. I think on this one, on the other hive, we didn't smush them. We just did the cinnamon.
okay.
I can show you pictures of what it looked like.
Yeah,
It
show
was
me the
really
pictures.
bad.
Tuesday.
Okay.
See all of this?
Oh wow.
See?
And as of today, there's no ants.
Correct.
Hey, that's what happens when you use cinnamon to get rid of all of your ant problems in hives.
This one, in this hive, there's nothing really going on this far down, but I wanted to look at the traps that we put in here.
Okay.
Did we get them the right way? Okay.
So whenever here, let's finish taking off
Let
the
me
inner
put this over
covers.
here.
And then yeah, you might want to just puff them a little bit with the smoke.
I was about to ask. Here. Those don't
So
blow
whenever you see because these would be guard bees.
Uh-huh.
So you just want to calm the first, I call them the nosy bees.
Yeah, okay.
You want to calm down those, because that's what's going to make them start flying up.
I saw a hive beetle up here.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And it's hard to see in there, but I don't see any. When we came back the 1 week after we put the frame feeder, it was completely empty. And it looks to be empty again.
Yeah,
but
it's
now it's
empty.
been like closer to 2 weeks this time.
Oh yeah, it's completely empty.
Yep.
All right.
So this is what you would say is your small hive,
Yes.
Yes, but they're looking like there's more.
right? They're strong though.
Yeah.
They might be smaller in size, but they are strong. And one thing I can say that's pretty good. Y'all are probably doing this without knowing, but y'all are using this feeder as like a follow board. Which
Oh,
is
is
good.
that how it's working also?
Yeah.
Can they not pass it?
Oh, they probably can, but they're
Because
probably
it's
not
kind
going
of,
to.
it's low on the top.
Yeah.
We put it where there was like a couple empty ones, and then we put the frame feeder. I didn't want to put it where there was like still stuff going on. There's cinnamon's getting everywhere. Okay, thank you.
So whenever you're
Okay,
doing this
cool.
inspection, which side would you start on first?
We were starting kind of how you showed us the very first time, like over here.
And working your way back?
Yes. There's no foundation in some of these, so we were hesitant to break some of them open. One of the times we just kept 2 of them
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
stuck together and looked on both sides, but didn't go inside.
And then I just want to let you know that you can still reuse those.
Oh.
Those are still, don't throw those away at all. Like whenever they get propolized and balled up, the bees will ball them up.
And also I think we did this on the last hive, but one of the times we had taken out a couple of the frames, the first frames that we took out so then we could move on to the next ones and just slide them down. They had honey on them, and then I felt like maybe it wasn't great to have the honey hanging out outside for too long. So
I see what you're saying.
we put empty ones out instead so we could keep the honey in the hive and it wouldn't just be like...
I can understand that. It really wouldn't hurt. I can see like how you would think that would make robbing happen. I mean, you don't have to worry about it. Just
Okay.
think about it. If there's flowers, you don't have to worry. If there's no flowers, everything is burnt up, that's when.
My thinking was the first time when you were here, we had it open for quite a while on the larger hive and they were starting to get more agitated.
Right.
So I wanted to keep that down as much as possible. So that's why I was like, maybe keeping it in the hive
I mean,
can help with that.
it
But
doesn't help. I mean, it does help. It really does help. But that's part of beekeeping. You're always going to have bees trying to rob you. Every time you can open up a hive, the smell of the beehive there's going to be a bee that checks out. So what I would recommend,
can I
just
pass me the other one?
see how they're starting to communicate with each other and move a little faster. That's whenever you would just with the smoker.
Is that enough?
That's good. So you just want to keep them down and calm. And so when is the last time you did a full inspection? A week ago?
2 weeks from now? 2 weeks?
2 weeks? So one thing that I had to learn the hard way, I was wondering why did my bees keep leaving? And so basically, if we go through the frames more than once a week, now once a week is really pushing it. And this is from experience. If you more than that, they're going to abscond on you because they feel that there's a predator that keeps on rearranging their house. And so the thing with beekeeping is that you have to allow the bees time to work. And that's where the practices of integrated pest management, doing good practices when you're in the hive and trusting that you did good practices. Pulling the frames out. If you see eggs, honey, and nectar, like it's in this inspection, if you did it in Easter, today I would simply just check for nectar. But that's just the rule of thumb. I don't want the bees to abscond on you, and then you're wondering what happened.
I do have a question. There is comb here. I don't know if it looks, do you see?
Some of these was old comb from like.
So I know that there's no nectar on this because there's no bees on it. So you see how right here, simply by just looking in, you can see
There's more bees.
right. So if they're just in the pocket or something like that, then they're just looking around.
Yeah, there's just like a random few, but here they're more concentrated.
You can see where there's, I call it information. There's information on the frames everywhere that the bees are looking up.
Them all poking their little heads all in a row.
So really, beekeeping is just about understanding what they're trying to tell you.
So as far as, this was another question I had, because the first time you were here, we started from one end and worked this way. Is that how we should approach every inspection? Or like you don't, where should I start if I'm just looking for a couple specific things? I don't necessarily need to look at everything.
So this is usually how it's going to be set up. And I'm going to explain why I started on that end. In every beehive, you're going to have a brood chamber and you're going to have the honey. You're never going to have honey in a brood chamber unless somebody put it there. So usually in the middle, so if we're looking down, right, you see how the bees are, they're heavily right there. I can almost guarantee that there's brood of some sort
Yes,
right there.
this is like the brood, yeah.
I always like to go from the honey to, and that's whenever they start doing that, that's whenever you will give them smoke. They're not being aggressive. They're just, now they're focused on me versus engorging themselves with the honey. And that's not it's not aggressive at all. But yeah, I worked from this end to this end because you want to see it during this time. You want to see if nectar is coming in. That's the biggest thing. Nectar swarming. That's it. If you see a wet frame, that's checking off the list of what you're looking for. You're looking for pollen.
A wet frame being like nectar?
Yeah, before honey. Here, let's pull one out and I'll show you.
Just
I would take this one out where there's no bees. Now I would put that to the side and then remove the feeder because that's going to give you access to the honeycombs. So you can automatically just go to where you see new honeycombs.
Yeah, and this is the one we're gonna have to. Most of these we end up pulling stuff apart just because there's no foundation and I have it all glued together.
Now, do you see new comb on this one?
A little bit, yeah.
And then another thing that I want you to keep in mind, every time we're going into the hive, we're slowing down the nectar coming in. The more we check, the less honey we get. So we gotta trust them. So you see that nectar right there?
Oh, there's a little bit, yeah.
So that's what
On the
you're looking
backside.
for. You see how it's shiny? That's what you're looking for. It's
Yeah.
a wet frame because it's not capped. So that's a good sign. So that's one thing that we can check off
Back in here.
from just simply looking at that. So now we'll be looking for pollen.
Should I continue going in order or should I go closer to where?
I would go keep going down the line like a book. I wouldn't jump frames because that's whenever they start to come out a little bit more. So whenever you break it open.
I have a question,
Do you have an uncapping knife?
No.
but
I was gonna say those uncapping. Whenever you have combs like this, you just use that uncapping knife to saw it, and then. But as of right now, I wouldn't break it
Stick these back together.
until you get that uncapping knife. It'd be a lot simpler.
There was one that we'd pulled apart and I felt so bad because there was larvae at the top.
Oh yeah, see, look right there. There's larvae right there. So that means
No.
you see how we see larvae. So what is that telling you? If it's uncapped already?
If it's uncapped.
are they treating it?
No, there's a queen in there.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. So if there's larvae, you can see larvae. We just verified that there's nectar. That's everything we're looking for, right? If there's a queen, that means pollen's coming in because the baby eggs need protein. So if she's laying, they're bringing in protein. We can see that there's wet frames, and then we know they have ample space, so there wouldn't be any queen cells. And then we can check off that there's the small hive beetles. They're not overrunning. You don't see any small hive beetles.
I've already seen less this time, I think.
Well, your beetle sheets are clean. They would be on the beetle sheets, and they're clean. What reason would we have to go any further? What I am saying is that, like, how you see how it's connected, and you don't have that uncapping knife right now. We can, instead of disrupting it, because they would have to expend energy to fix the comb, and so we want them to put that energy into bringing in honey, right? So we can have a lot of honey. I would just, whenever you get the knife, then you can separate it.
It's less disruptive with the knife than just ripping it
because
apart.
you're
doing a
cut.
clean.
And then they'll just mend it back together separately instead of rejoining it together.
So do we know everything we need to know then?
I would say yes. I would say yes because we can verify that there's a queen. If you can't spot a queen, the other method of verifying that there's a queen is young larvae or eggs. if there's, we just seen it whenever you broke the comb, the new larvae.
I did have questions on regarding some of the pattern on the brood, but I feel like this hive, the brood section, is stuck together more so than on the other hive. So
Right.
maybe it would be best for me to show you on the other one than to disrupt this one so much. I had another question because you said that you like to, the first time you were here and you were talking about like spacing and stuff and how you like to do a frame less than what can fit in the box and then just have a little extra space. Do you think that would be helpful here in regards to like
Whenever you cut it, yeah, if you, because look, now you have the tool to measure. Did you
it's
know
this part, right? On this end?
this one? So you can, that's exactly how I would do it. See how that's,
So that one's a little too close.
so just keeping it about that different, much space. I know my pinky is the same amount of space this, so I do pinky width, and it works pretty good.
Okay.
And then they make more honey because they can pull out the honeycomb a lot more whenever you do
And then
more space.
that could help with them gluing it together so much because there's a little more like breathing room, I guess.
And they also make like it's called a spacer shim, where it'll give you 9 slots to equally space them like that. But this is gonna do the same thing.
Well, no, I meant like more wiggle room, like with the spacing.
I wouldn't separate until you get that knife because it's gonna make them, like, once again, they're gonna expend more energy fixing the comb than bringing in the resources that they need to live.
Then I'm not sure I want to break this up to look at the brood. I think maybe just look at the brood on the other one because that one's not, it's not as stuck together on the other one.
Okay, let's do it.
So let's put we have to fill the feeder. Yep. Almost forgot.
Don't forget to put this frame back.
Oh, thank you.
And the other one too before.
And I would
This one was on the other side of it.
I would give them probably about this much space, 2 frames extra, and then put that
Feeder
feeder.
here?
You want to fill it before you put it in, or no?
No, because then it's gonna be really heavy and I don't want it to slip. And last time I spilled a teensy bit on the top, but then they just came and drank it up. So.
And then even
Be very
if
careful.
there's bees in there when you're pouring it, it's okay. That's why they have a
Yeah,
ladder.
they came out last time, and a couple of them were kind of drenched in sugar syrup, but then they just buzzed their wings and flew off.
I have a question. Would it be okay to leave a frame out?
I would
Here?
keep it in. So as they're building up, they're going to use the sugar syrup to really stimulate the queen because, you know, this is carbohydrates to them. And so all that sugar syrup, I mean, that's doing nothing but helping them.
Also, I noticed their nectar looked really clear. Is that because of the sugar syrup?
That is sugar syrup. If you do want to leave one out because of this, how I would do it, just scoot them closer and leave the space over here.
Hive beetle. You said leave the space on this other end?
If you just wanted for that, so that way you can scoot them back, or just go to about 4 or 5 and leave it right here.
And this is where you could leave gaps, right?
Because they're not even over here,
Yeah.
realistically. So I would just right there. It's fine.
Like this?
So that way you just scoot those back every time you try to do your inspection.
And then just leave this one out?
I would probably just lay it on top of that.
really?
But won't these bees that are up here get?
They won't start building comb on it.
No, I was thinking we won't be able to put the inner cover over it, will we?
Put the inner covers over
This
first.
on top of the inner cover. Do you think we need to like replenish the cinnamon or you think it's okay?
I would just see. I would just not do it this time. See if they come back. And then next time, if they are there, you know the remedy.
Yeah, because it was only a few days and there's...
And then,
Like
I mean, the
nothing.
smell of it is still in there. Because
Yeah.
I can still smell
It
it.
smells really yummy.
And then I've read other articles where cinnamon actually helps with like varroa mites and all that kind of stuff. I don't know
cool.
about it, but I have read that. So I don't think...
I mean, it can't hurt.
Keeping it there, I don't see a problem with that at all. So even though this is your smaller hive, and don't forget did you put these?
Shoot, we didn't.
I would do it on this inner cover number 1, because that's
Okay.
where the colony is.
And just lay it on them? Oh, I have this one. How many should we put here, do you think?
2, or if you have 3, put 3.
I don't know which side is the upside and the downside.
You have where it's fuzzy. That's what the beetles are going to be trapped in.
Don't put it down.
So that one that's on the farthest, that's upside down.
These ones, both sides seem fuzzy, so.
I'm just gonna put all of them.
Okay, and Smoker's still doing good.
This is the one or this one?
This one. You said just 3 times is good, huh?
Yeah, that's good. So you're just trying to let them know that, hey, I'm coming in.
See, this is where all the larvae was
Yeah, they
for the
got
ants.
them clean out of there.
Good, yeah, because all they have is just the larva left over. And see, and I want to think that they're propolizing,
Oh no, they're not. I would leave it just like that and just smoke them through there before you open it.
There's some bees on all of these. I'm gonna start down here. This is where we saw more of the hive beetles last time. They were like in the corner and going down. There's a lot more bees down here than there normally are.
That's a good sign. This colony is gonna be real big on you.
Should I even worry about trying to kill them, or?
I wouldn't, because as long as you keep these fresh, they're gonna trap them. So that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was anything else we need to be doing, or if these traps are like sufficient.
They're sufficient, but if you also wanted to add another layer, they make what's called beetle blasters. So it's like a tray that goes in the middle of them, and you fill them with oil. If you wanted to add another layer,
Should we just leave all this how it is?
I would. Just probably slide it down, and I would give them some more smoke.
Now, I forget where the stuff started before. Should we take this one off too?
Yeah.
Keep
So
it.
that way you can show me the brood pattern you were talking about.
Yeah, I didn't know where we should start on this one, if we should go this way or just kind of jump straight to...
Either way, if you want to look at the brood first, you can start on that end. But it's usually less bees on the honey side than the brood side. So that's usually why I started the honey side
You want
first.
to start down here then and...
Yeah, but you can still take it off.
Oh, there's a
And
little bit
cloud
of
it
honey
up.
in here, and nectar.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We have
Capped
some nectar.
honey and nectar.
Yep.
So that's a good sign.
So leave this one out. Can I set it just like... Set it on top of there.
And every time you pull a frame, do a puff of smoke in between the frame. So that way, especially with those thinner gloves.
I don't want to set it on the top because it fell over a second ago. But this one's heavier. Okay, it looks like a little bit of capped honey there, where underneath all the bees.
And if you ever wanted to move the bees around, yeah, that's capped right there.
Yeah, more on this side. If I wanted to move them around?
Yeah, you could just like put a little smoke wherever you're trying to look, and they'll just
Oh, I was
spread
doing
out.
that thing when there was a lot of them to blow on them.
Just blow on them.
Okay, more capped honey.
Capped honey and wet frame.
Oh, yes. There's capped honey in between there too.
And what I actually think is pretty cool, you can tell how fresh this comb is. You see how it's darker right there? So that strip was there from whenever they did chunk honey. Like they cut out the honeycombs. So that's why it's brown at the top and around the corners. And all of this is a newer color.
Yeah,
that's
what's this? Is it just weird looking capped honey? What's going on right there?
That is,
This here?
Yeah.
I forgot what they call that.
It doesn't look the same as the other.
Yeah, sometimes with that older comb like that, they'll actually do that. I think it's called like mummy comb or something like that. But
Okay.
they'll propolize the comb.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
it could have been like a chalk sac brood or something from them just being weak in the winter. They could have propolized it to sterilize it. I believe that's what that is.
I had other questions regarding like.
Wait, listen. You hear them?
Yeah.
They're getting a little louder, huh?
They got.
So just give them a little smoke. You gotta be in tune with them. You see how they didn't move? Like you want the smoke to actually go into it. See, you want them to go back down.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one.
You hear
I
how they
was-
quiet down a little bit? Yeah, you don't want them to be anxious.
Also, when you smoke them, they get louder for a second and then they kind of like calm down. Just tuck that in there so it doesn't blow away.
You see how they're kind of running towards your finger? Just give them a little smoke right where you're working.
Oh, this one's heavier. More nectar. Some more of that mummy, whatever you were calling it.
And I could have totally made that up. Don't take my word for it, but I think that is what it's called.
We'll look it up and.
But I know it's whenever they propolize the comb to sterilize it.
Oh, there's a lot of nectar on the back. Some capped honey, a lot of nectar.
That's a good looking frame. So that's the
right.
kind of frame that you can cut out if you want to put honeycomb in your honey. Did y'all get an extractor?
No. Our priorities have been elsewhere for
Right,
now.
right.
But and I didn't know. I also had questions regarding like what we can do without an extractor. But then also I don't know if because we don't know anything about the history of the hive any treatments that may or may not have been done, things that might be in the comb just from like environmental stuff. I don't want to be eating this older.
Why not?
I don't know.
It's okay. If trust me, if it was nasty or diseased or anything or bad, you know, chemicals or anything, the bees are going to react to that. So all that honeycomb that's capped and stuff, well, I wouldn't take any of it now because they're actively using it. But whenever, you know, it's time to extract your honey, yeah, feel free to use all of that.
I was just not sure because we don't know what was going on with this hive before we got them. Like, we don't know how long it's been sitting there. We don't know.
Honey never goes bad.
Well, yeah, but like we don't know how like much the comb has been used. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying, and I understand your concern. I would just say,
Can you over here,
if
please?
bees are actively managing the honey, you know, they're actively walking across the combs and stuff like that, it's safe. Now, in my line of work where I do bee removal, that's whenever you have to be concerned because you don't know if the homeowner sprayed pesticides on it.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, if somebody was actively managing this hive, I highly
Whoa,
doubt.
this is full of nectar. There's
Yeah.
some pollen at the bottom, on the like towards the bottom left.
And then another thing that I want to point out is that majority of this is 90% is new nectar being brought in. So if new nectar is being brought in, all of that old honeycomb that you're worried about is they would have already ate it. So this is new. And then whenever you extract it, you're not breaking the combs off. You're slinging the wet honey out.
And that's the
Okay, yeah.
Is that a drone?
Yeah, I also
Yes.
saw a lot of drones. I forgot to tell you that.
Oh, that's a good
Like
sign.
quite a few of them. Here's another one here.
That's a good sign. And look, all of that is new nectar. Why wouldn't you want that? That's your honey.
Well, yeah. But I was like in regards to like cut comb and taking the
Okay.
comb out with that's what I'm talking about. Not just the honey, like spinning the honey. That's different than like eating the comb that is like kind of old and brown.
Oh, I can definitely see
You
that.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like
now.
the remember when I said the piece of bird comb that fell out and we just ate it? It
Yeah.
was like brand new. That's why I ate it. I wouldn't have done that if it like looked like
no.
this because I don't know where
Right.
this how long the wax has been there.
I see what you're
What
saying.
treatments may or may not have been done in the hive.
Yeah, you definitely want to use white comb for chunk
Yes,
honey, not
yeah.
that brown, dirty stuff.
I was like, I don't want to eat that.
Yeah, I know exactly.
The honey is different though when you spin it out. Should we keep continuing with like one by one?
I will wait until you see, or if those are connected, I would go to the brood section because you see.
Well, they're
that-
not really connected, but that's kind of just there.
And don't forget to smoke them. Yeah, I would slide it over till you start seeing brood.
Can you see more honey? Should we smoke them every time?
Whenever they're really just on top of the frames, I personally like them to be in the middle of the frames instead of just sitting
So
out
this
there.
is too much on the top for what you would.
Because see, look, let me show you something. See, look, you want to. Oh, these bees are just real stubborn.
I was gonna say they're not really moving very much.
Yeah, but I personally do it till they get in the middle of the frames like that.
Can we give it a little bit?
Cause I've seen them just sit like that, and then all of a sudden 50 just jump out at you like that.
Oh, it's a little hot. It feels hot to me.
Yeah, it's okay though. It's not burning. It's where it burned their wings off. Like if
Yeah,
you're
and
squeezing it and fire's coming out the end,
Yeah.
that's too hot. But that's okay.
Here's
oh,
some brood.
Yeah.
Is there brood on that side too?
Oh yeah, that's a good looking frame.
I'm trying to
There's
see
some pollen.
where there's stuff that I had questions about. I don't see anything here though. It might have been totally normal, but I just don't. I'm not quite sure yet. So
I can tell you that
This looks pretty good. Ooh, larva at the bottom.
That's good looking frame. In this frame, this tells you the whole story of the hive. Because if you flip to the other side, you can see various stages. Oh look, there's the queen.
really? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We haven't
So
seen the
that's-
queens yet.
Oh really?
Oh wow,
No.
she's like sticks out like a sore thumb. Oh, she's so pretty. Did you get
And
it?
she's
Yes.
big and healthy too on the other side.
She's on the other side.
Oh, I'm so excited.
This is wonderful.
So she's looking very healthy. That's exactly what
Oh,
I
did
was
you
going to
get
say. She's looking very healthy.
There she is at the bottom.
Her brood pattern is
Now she's
very,
on the other side. Her brood pattern is what?
It's very good.
She's so easy to spot. I was worried I would be just really hanging out at the bottom.
I don't see any issues with her health.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything is wrong with her, really and truly.
Oh, yay.
You see how easy it is to distinguish her, though?
Yes, now that
we
I've
see
seen
her.
her. I was for sure, I'm like, maybe I've just missed her every time. Like,
Oh, she's on the other side, probably.
Yeah,
And
she's
so-
flipping
Yeah, whenever you see her, though, just be cautious. Be very careful.
down there on the other side.
She's like
With how
keeps flip-flopping, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm making sure to hold it over the hive.
Can you hold it towards the? Yeah, I just want to get that shot right there. Thank you.
This one's buzzing on my finger a little bit.
Okay, so we should put that one back?
So yeah, really and truly,
She's so pretty. Did you get a close-up of her?
I think I did, yeah.
I would really be done with the inspection now.
Really?
Because you
Okay.
you just verified the queen's right there. Like you really just checked out every single box.
Yes,
Her
the nectar.
We see various frames. We see she's laying. Her brood pattern is nice and tight. We just seen pollen.
Oh, you know you're sorry.
Wet frame and capped honey. So what's the point of going any further?
Take a picture of her. Not enough storage space.
That's okay.
She's so pretty. Cool. That was really exciting.
So just since you know she's on that frame, just gently lower it back in.
I was expecting her to be further down this way,
Me too.
but there's like a lot of brood here.
So that lets you know all this brood in probably a month, the bees can easily be like in the 3/4 of the box.
At what point, I know it's different for a long hive. At what point would you suggest doing a split or
When it's full, and then you
like
can,
honey to the end?
or whenever
or like-
you have since this is really in thirds because of the inner cover. Whenever you have more than 2/3,
So like,
you see that Miss Aggie, that bee is trying to sting you.
Yeah, I
on
know.
that napkin.
Oh,
where's the,
There you go. But it's okay. I mean, you're a beekeeper now. You're
I know, but I'm trying to see how long I can go without getting stung.
when they were flying around a lot the other
Uh-huh.
time when they were getting a little more agitated, I was doing kind of smoke just like in the air.
Mhm.
Is that helpful?
If they're on you, they're covering your veil and stuff. Sometimes walking away and puffing smoke in the air like that is helpful to get them off of you. Just puffing the smoke in the air, I mean, that's really and truly gonna make them fly around more because they, you got to think that smoke it basically triggers a reaction how it works to engorge honey because they think their home is about to be engulfed with fire.
Yes.
So it just kind of puts their mind in a different place.
They're worried about fire instead of you.
Right. So if it's in the air, they're like, okay, now it's serious.
So there was stuff on I didn't see it on that frame, but on some of the other frames. But maybe that was just normal, and I was just
Probably
didn't
so.
know what I was looking at. But regarding some of them had holes in them, but I don't know what looks like something worrisome versus like the bees are just
These bees are very healthy.
part of their.
I wouldn't, be concerned about it because everything is healthy in this hive. There's not even enough. The bees aren't even, too far down where it's too much. Like they don't have enough breathing room.
Okay.
So everything is right where it should be.
Yeah, we got it. Pretty good.
Yep. No.
I got an extractor for y'all.
No.
It's
Really?
never been used before. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
This is awesome.
I wanted to give that to you. It's been in the storage for some time from this lady, and she gifted it to me, but I already have 3. So whenever she gave it to me, I said, I know exactly
Oh
where
my
I'm gonna
gosh,
give it to
really?
y'all. Yeah.
Thank you
That's
so
y'all.
much.
Yeah, not a problem.
Wow.
This is awesome.
Yeah, so I know you were telling, that's why I was asking you, did y'all get it extracted yet? I was praying y'all said
Oh
no.
my, I had no idea what the surprise was at all. Didn't even have a clue.
Okay.
So you have an uncapping knife, the heated one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so use that.
Oh my gosh.
Thank
Yes.
you so
Yes, not a
much.
problem.
Yes, thank you.
This is wonderful.
Not a problem.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I had a question
So very much.
for you said the uncapping knife.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the heated one that we have in there is different than like what you're talking about for
Yes.
is there like a specific thing we should be looking for regarding like,
No, you just get an uncapping knife. So there's just heated ones and unheated ones. Just
Okay.
get an unheated one.
is it like the same shape and size and stuff as the heated one, just like not?
No, it's not the same shape. It's longer and it's like kind of like a serrated knife, cooking
Okay.
knife. But I just use the uncapping knife because it's usually long and it works good cutting wax.
Okay, cool.
And should you cut it in the middle? Or
Yeah,
should
cut it in the middle.
Okay.
Just go ahead and separate it. Put that space in it so they can mend it back together. Separate.
Separate.
And then even if you wanted to later after they mend it, put it back together, you can do it like that.
Got you. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Do y'all want me to put that in the shed for y'all? It's kind of heavy.
Actually, should we put it in there or put it in there?
I think we could put it in here
Okay.
with
Yeah.
more of the there's more room in here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Well, if
Right
y'all
on.
if y'all have any more questions, please let me know. Text me, and yeah, I'm here for y'all.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we will definitely have questions.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
So yeah, I'm here. Yes, ma'am.
okay, awesome.